How does a drug safety function move from one suspected adverse reaction to a fully governed regulatory submission? This process depends on clear decisions, timed reporting, structured assessment, and inspectable records. You are about to follow that path from intake through oversight. A drug safety function collects, assesses, codes, reports, and monitors safety data across development and marketed use. Typical teams include case processing, medical review, aggregate reporting, signal management, safety systems, and quality and compliance. Even when work is outsourced, the marketing authorization holder remains accountable. The system is expected to follow the standards set out in GVP Module 1 that includes written procedures, trained personnel, safety data exchange agreements, and documented training records for every role. Because the whole function must be inspectable, contemporaneous documentation matters as much as the safety judgment itself. The individual case safety report lifecycle begins when a report is received and logged from a patient, healthcare professional, study, publication, partner, regulator, or company website. It then moves through validity checks, duplicate search, triage, database registration, data entry, coding, narrative writing, medical review, quality control, follow-up, submission, distribution, archiving, and later reuse. A valid individual case safety report needs 4 minimum criteria. There must be an identifiable reporter, an identifiable patient, a suspect medicinal product, and a suspect adverse reaction. If anyone is missing, the report is incomplete. So, it is tracked and followed up rather than submitted as a case. Duplicate checking before data entry prevents the same patient from being counted twice. Day 0 is the date any personnel of the marketing authorization holder first receive information that meets the 4 minimum criteria. This includes contractors, medical representatives, and affiliates, even on a weekend or public holiday. Triage protects the shortest reporting clock first, and significant follow-up restarts the clock from the new receipt date. In the European Union, serious reports go to Pharmacovigilance within 15 days, while non-serious reports occurring in the European Economic Area go within 90 days. Clinical trial SUSARs that are fatal or life-threatening go within 7 calendar days, with follow-up in a further 8 days. In the United States, serious and unexpected adverse experiences are 15-day. Alert reports from initial receipt under 21 CFR 314.80. Seriousness is a regulatory classification about outcome, not intensity. It includes death, life-threatening cases, inpatient hospitalization or its prolongation, persistent or significant disability or incapacity, congenital anomaly, and important medical events that may require intervention to prevent those outcomes. A severe headache can still be non-serious. Seriousness drives the reporting clock, so triage applies the criteria before full medical review is complete. If the reporter and the company assessor disagree, both assessments are recorded, and the more conservative one drives the reporting obligation. The record should state which seriousness criterion was met, not just the word serious. Expectedness compares the reported reaction against the reference safety information that applies in that regulatory context. For marketed products in the European Union, that reference is usually the summary of product characteristics, while companies also maintain a company core data sheet. The company core safety information inside that core data sheet supports consistent global expectedness decisions. An event is unexpected if it is not listed, or if it is more specific or more severe than the listed term. In clinical trials, the reference is the Reference Safety Information section of the investigator brochure, not a marketed product label. Serious plus unexpected plus a suspected causal relationship is the combination that usually triggers expedited submission. The WHO UMC system uses 6 categories: certain, probable or likely, possible, unlikely, conditional or unclassified, and unassessable or unclassifiable. It weighs the time relationship, pharmacological plausibility, de-challenge, re-challenge, alternative explanations, and objective confirmation. Certain needs a plausible time relationship, a definitive response on withdrawal, and usually a satisfactory positive re-challenge. Causality does not need to be proven for reporting, because suspicion is enough. Possible is used when the time relationship is reasonable, but other medicines or the underlying disease could also explain the event. Unassessable is reserved for information that is insufficient or contradictory and cannot be supplemented by follow-up. The Naranjo Adverse Drug Reaction Probability Scale asks 10 questions and turns the answers into a single numerical score. The questions cover previous reports, timing, de-challenge, re-challenge, alternative causes, placebo response, drug levels, dose relationship, prior exposure, and objective confirmation. Its score bands are definite at 9 or more, probable at 5 to 8, possible at 1 to 4, and doubtful at 0. The scale adds reproducibility and an audit trail, which helps with training, moderation between assessors, and later defense of a decision. It performs less well for long latency events, drug interactions, and sparse records, which are common in spontaneous reports. Reporter causality and company causality are stored separately in the safety database. MEDRA has 5 hierarchy levels: system organ class, high-level group term, high-level term, preferred term, and lowest level term. Data is entered at lowest level term to stay close to the reporter words, then analyzed and exchanged at preferred term. Preferred terms have one primary system organ class for analysis, even though terms are multi-axial. The MSSO releases MEDRA twice a year in March and September, so version control and any recoding decisions must be documented. WHO drug, maintained by the Uppsala Monitoring Center, codes suspect and concomitant medicines to a consistent product and substance structure. The MEDDRA Term Selection Guide gives conventions that keep coding consistent between coders and companies. A case narrative tells the story in a logical order, so a reader can follow it without opening the safety database. A workable structure is patient description, relevant history, suspect therapy with dates and doses, event onset, treatment given, outcome and assessment. It should use only factual information from the reporter and avoid speculation or promotional wording. De-challenge and re-challenge should be stated explicitly, and unknown information should be said plainly, rather than left as a silent gap. Direct patient identifiers stay out of the narrative in line with data protection requirements and company privacy procedures. The narrative closes with company causality and expectedness conclusions and the reasoning behind them. Periodic reports step back from single cases and present interval and cumulative safety data with an integrated evaluation of benefit and risk. The PSUR is prepared in the Periodic Benefit Risk Evaluation Report format and addressed by GVP Module 7. The DSUR is the annual safety report for products still under clinical development. A validated safety database holds cases, generates regulatory outputs, and provides an audit trail with exchange using the ICH E2B standard and the current E2B R3 implementation. Literature screening of reference databases such as Medline or Embase is expected no less frequently than once a week. And reconciliation compares pharmacovigilance records with other sources. Common compliance metrics include on-time submission rate, late case root causes, cycle times, and follow-up success rates. The qualified person responsible for pharmacovigilance establishes and maintains the pharmacovigilance system and is named in the master file. The pharmacovigilance system master file describes the system and must be current whenever a regulator asks for it. Safety committees review emerging issues, signals, label changes, and risk minimization decisions, and formal minutes record those decisions. A drug safety function works because each step connects to the next, from valid intake and timed reporting to coding, causality, narrative writing, and aggregate review. Its oversight layer, including compliance checks, literature screening, reconciliation, the QPPV, and the master file, keeps the system inspectable. That is how a suspected adverse reaction becomes a governed regulatory safety record.